We're talking Miller Moss. We're talking Caleb Williams here on the Student Body Right USC podcast.
Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Welcome, everybody, to the Glimmers episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting off the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSBR is my Twitter handle. And you can catch all of our stuff on Twitter. You can do it on YouTube. I mean, go ahead and you can go to podcasts wherever podcasts are available. You can find the Student Body Right USC podcast. There's a lot going on with USC as always, and I just want to kind of, I don't know if it's a misnomer. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if we're just drinking a little too much Miller Moss Kool-Aid. I'm watching, some people who people talking about USC and talking about Miller Moss and everything. And I don't know what they actually saw in this game. And they kind of like trying to say that he runs, the system better than Caleb Williams and all this other stuff like that. So let's just get some misnomers out here real quick. So one of the more prevailing thoughts that people are having right now is that the ball came out on time, that he took the checkdowns in this game. So let's just examine the numbers real quick, because he was 23 of 33 in the bowl game, averaging about 11.3 per pass. He had on 23 completions, he had 372 yards. So let's go through the receiving yards and the averages for the USC receivers. So yeah, Taj Washington, 7 receptions, 14.1 yards per reception. You got Mekhi Lemon. He had 2 receptions, 37 yards, 37.5. You have Jacoby Lane, averaging 20 yards per reception. You got Deuce Robinson, 44 yards per reception. You got Tabarucci, averaging 32 yards. Austin Jones caught a screen pass, so 6 yards. Kyron Hudson caught a touchdown pass, 8 yards. 8 yards, a clip on that one for his 2 receptions, and you got a 13-yard you got a 13-yard pass for Dorian Singer, and then you got a 4.5 yards receptions for 2 receptions for Zachariah Branch. So I'm just asking y'all with those numbers, and I'll post it on the side so you can take a look at it in the box score. Where are the checkdowns at? Just asking. I mean, where are the checkdowns at? Like these checkdowns that everybody's talking about that he's hitting that Caleb didn't hit. Where are the checkdowns at? You got to understand what Lincoln Riley's offense is. Lincoln Riley offense is he wants to have longer developing plays down the field. Okay. I mean, that didn't change because Miller Moss was the quarterback. He was throwing bombs away. He was throwing bombs down the field. He was throwing, deep crossers, deep slants, like all those things like that. That's the reality of this offense. Like he wants to get the ball down the field and score quickly. He's looking at it as he has 4 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers, and his third receiver is way better than your third or fourth corner, even if you got a good defense. And the shuffling they did on the offensive line was really nice, especially with Page at left tackle. He probably got beat one time, and that's probably pretty much it. The guy was lights out, but they gave him a lot. They gave him the time to get rid of the football. And there's a couple of times where he just got pounded after he released it. But good job by Miller Moss to get the ball out of his hands and down the field. And he has to play a different game than Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams can keep plays alive and do things that Miller Moss can't do. But this idea that people have where people are saying that he takes the checkdowns, like, I was lucky enough to be there. Um, as a credential part of the media, and I watched it from the field level, and I watched it from the press box, and the press box is nice because you get to see the all 22 view of it. But in the ball game, we have to remember too that we had a Kyron Hudson um, block punt. We had a Max Williams great strip of the football of Plummer, and then recovered by Solomon Bird. So he had a couple of short fields to work with, which is not to demean what he did on the field, because you can get short fields, but I mean, how many times do you see people settle for field goals in those moments? But I would say, people who want to jump on the box and just say all these things about Miller Moss, go ahead. Great game, great performance. Thrill for him and his family, because he's played well. But I think it's more impressive that he didn't change the offense. that he still ran all these deep patterns, and he was able to hit Makai Lemon. That he was able to hit, a great seam pass to Carson Tabarucci. That he was able to hit that, at the 50-yard line in stride. Probably the best throw of the whole night. Deuce Robinson down the left sideline for a touchdown to hit. I mean, like some of the passes to Makai Lemon, like, you know what I mean? Like it took, a great play by Jacoby Lane to kind of save an interception, but he still made a great sliding catch in that ball game, and he used his height and his ability to box out. He used that 6'5", that 6'4", 6'5" frame. And that kid is just some of these dudes are ridiculously tall as hell, but Jacoby Lane is ridiculously tall. Once he puts his hands up, that's like 6'7". So you basically need a 6'7" corner to knock that ball down. That's one of the reasons why we should be really excited about this wide receiving core for USC going forward. In this in the 2024 season. Now the question is, where do you get that? Because I think they can replace Brendan Rice, but where do you get the guy who is going to replace Taj Washington? Like, how does the chef get replaced? Because they kind of need that veteran receiver to be able to go do that. As far as that goes, but I'm not sure. Like, I think in the over elation, like the elation of like, oh my God, USC won this game. I feel really great about USC winning this game and USC playing good football. That that I are putting on blinders a little bit in my comparison to the way it was called for the game was called for Caleb Williams, and when the game is called um for Miller Moss. Like, you saw it. Like, he wants to throw the ball down the field as a play caller. He does a great job of designing it. He does a great job of you having to defend every blade of grass. That's what makes Lincoln Riley so good at his job. I just want people to understand that, like, to me, from like looking at it, I looked at it all 22. I looked at every single completion, and most of the completions were 10 yards. I don't call it a pass that travels in the air 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. A check down. A check down is you throw the ball into the flat because nothing is deep intermediate, or nothing is deep down the field. I thought that he did a great job of the intermediate pass. I thought the Tabarucci pass was one of my favorite plays in the seam, because you got Wally Matthews coming. You got Walker Lyons coming. You got some tight ends. You got Olsen coming. You got some really good, talented tight ends coming to USC. So that's something that I'm really excited about as well. But like, at the end of the day, I'm trying to show people or trying to talk to people about it. Like, I mean, you'll see some of the highlights that come across the screen as we like, where are the passes that are the check down passes that people are he checked the ball down. He checked the ball down. Like, where did Miller Moore check the ball down? Like, like even if Lincoln Riley calls a check down play, a check down pass play, it's usually a play that he thinks is going to go for 20, 30 yards. You know, that little play where Zachariah Branch crosses the line of scrimmage. He's already running in motion, and then he's matched up with a linebacker or a defensive lineman. He just flipped the ball to him. He usually gets like 15, 20 yards on that play. Um, it's just I just I don't want to I just feel like I like Miller Moss. I think Miller Moss can come in and play well for them. I think I think when you play behind a guy like Caleb Williams, people undersell and almost forget about who you are as a player. Like he was a top recruit. He was a guy who was everybody thought he was going to be a really good college football player for a long period of time, and you forget about it because you get behind certain people, and it's almost like we're almost getting to the point where like I got people on the Bird app talking about Caleb Williams is a system quarterback, and it was this and that. Like he will he does a Lincoln Riley does a good job of picking the quarterbacks who he likes in his system. Right, he knows who to pick in his system so that will make it work for him. And then with that being said, like he gives them clear throws down the field so they can just be aggressive as humanly possible. And that aggressiveness didn't stop, in my opinion, at all because they switched quarterbacks. I do think the one thing that I will always try to remember, and I'll keep it in my notes, is when you have a top coach like a Lincoln Riley, like when you give them that much time to prepare for one team, and I know I picked Louisville to win that game and the Holiday Bowl, I should have been more of Lincoln Riley has that much, even though that defense in Louisville was really good, had been really good all year, beat up on Notre Dame. I should have personally said, you know what, Lincoln Riley with that much time to prepare for one defense, he's going to find a way, and they found a way. I mean, and they had mismatches all over the field, and you saw the abundance of offensive talent that this team has. And I just want to see. I think the only thing you got to see next year is the implementation of the running back, like Woody Marks and people like that. But like I said, I can be happy that that USC won the game. I just didn't see what everybody else saw as far as that goes. I didn't see this whole like crazy, check down Charlie thing that everybody else is seeing that everybody else saw. I didn't see all those check downs like everybody else. That wasn't me. It wasn't me. Like Shaggy said, it wasn't me. Because I saw a guy who was I saw a head coach who knew it was going to be hard for him to run the football in this game, so they didn't run the football very often. And when he got to his third and long plays, he used third down a lot to kind of make third and first down to make big plays because all the big plays came on for first and third down. I'm going to throw the ball down the field. I'm going to do my best to get chunk plays because I don't feel like those third and fourth corners, if they go man, can cover my young receivers. And you know what? Lincoln Riley was right because when Makai Lemon was in the slot, that slot corner had no chance. And there's plays where Dorian Singer was open, but Makai Lemon got open first. Like I mean, they had people open for the majority of the day, and it was a tough matchup for Louisville in this ball game. So this one got a quick Miller Moss, Caleb Williams. I got one more Caleb Williams podcast to come out. We will actually probably have more because the draft is coming up soon. But yeah, I just want to get those thoughts out there real quick for y'all on the Student Body Right USC podcast. We got a lot coming up for y'all, man. This offseason is going to be crazy. The transfer portal is closing soon. So once it closes, we'll talk about Will Howard and whether or not I think one thing I'll say about Will Howard is if Will Howard is not willing to come to SC and like we're still trying to wait and see like whether or not he comes to SC or not, If he's not willing to come to SC and fight for, if he's not willing to come to SC and fight for that for that number one spot, then do we want him on the team? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like I know we came back and his Instagram says for business inquiries, stuff like that, and he's like kind of a businessman, all that stuff. Like, I get it. That's fine. He's really talented. He's a really good quarterback. I mean, before, I thought he was a must get before I saw what Miller Moss did. But like at the end of the day, like, Will Howard, he got to make a decision soon. I mean, you can stay at K State, you can go to Ohio State, you can come to SC, but if you come to SC, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. Miller Moss is not going to take. He knows the offense. He's been there for a while. He has the locker room at his back, and it'll be welcoming. But at the end of the day, that team really loves Miller Moss. All right. As always, folks, see you on the next one, and fight on.
Incredible week, an unbelievable venue, terrific group of volunteers, DirecTV Holiday Bowl. You guys have done an unbelievable job all week long. Congratulations. And now the 2023 president of the DirecTV Holiday Bowl, Dennis Dubar, for the offensive and defensive MVPs. The 2023 DirecTV Holiday Bowl Defensive Player of the Game presented by SDG&E is safety number 19, Jalen Smith. Your defense played really well tonight. Obviously, there's a lot of changes going on. You know, a lot of new faces around you. In a lot of ways, this was a one-game season, but you guys played incredibly hard. Take me through that performance from you and your guys.
I think I'll say it's definitely hard work. Our defense was challenged from so many atmospheres and different adversity throughout all 12 games. And I think just we responded in a good way and put in all the work, necessary work to come out on top.
12 tackles, all of them solo, by the way, from Jalen out here. How can you build on this looking into next year?
Wanted to put something forward to the jumpstart to our season. Testimony of hard work, man, just to see what we do, all buy in and all 11 play together.
Jalen, congratulations, buddy. Most valuable player probably is going to come as no surprise. Quarterback, all right, are we ready for this? 23 of 33 for 372 yards and 6 touchdown passes. This opportunity. What did this opportunity mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it says one INT too, so.
I didn't want to read that.
No, I mean, this isn't about me and any opportunity. This is about the team and our ability to come together over these last 6 weeks. It's going to be more fun with these guys and make a response to the person. Really, really proud of this one.
And for you moving forward, what do you feel like you were able to prove tonight for not only what this meant to this team, but what it proves for you moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I was out to prove anything personally. I think this team went through a lot this year. We wanted to respond to adversity well and finish it on a truly high note for guys that have given everything to spark. I think that's what we did.
That's what we'll be coming after a Heisman Trophy winner. You did one heck of a job, man. Congratulations. You got it. The Chief Marketing Officer for DirecTV, Vince Torres, is going to hand the trophy to the 2023 DirecTV Holiday Bowl champion, USC Trojans. Coach, we talked all week about this being really a one-game season, so unique, 6 weeks after your last game, you know, and looking into 2024, and yet you guys came out here and played with tremendous effort.
We did. There was a million reasons to not play well, and to maybe just bypass this game, right? Not take advantage of this opportunity. But this group of guys right here, they care about this university. They care about this football program. It means something to them to be USC Trojan, and they showed that tonight.
In a lot of ways, this is a big transition. You're going to transition on the defensive side. You're going into a new conference, USC heading into the Big Ten Conference. What can this game and this performance do for you guys as a program?
There's been a lot of bright moments over the first 2 years, but we understand that this is just the beginning. There's some great opportunities ahead for this program. This has forever been one of the greats, and we are motivated as we can possibly be to continue to fight to get it back there. We will get that done.
Coach, congratulations again. I look forward to seeing you next year. Now, Coach, I don't know if you agreed to this or not, but someone on your staff agreed that you were going to sit down and get eggnog dumped on your head. So, I tell you what, Gus, when that happens, you take it away back to you guys.